We back, y'all. We back. Switch up the topics. Back. We're gonna talk about this. I'm gonna add Diddy to this because I want to talk about the Sharpe. Yeah, out here, YouTube. Much respect. Share it. Shout out to y'all. Much respect. I had to do it like this because I don't know. Someone just hit me up and tell me to do it like this because YouTube, they're acting crazy with the, you know what I mean? YouTuber, they've been acting crazy with the screen yard. So I don't know what's going on, what they're trying to do with the algorithm, but someone tell me to do it this way because the algorithm is bad for that way. But I'm gonna get into this. Hold on. And get into this story right here. Let's talk about this Diddy. Apparently Diddy got a new trial, and it's crazy. Yeah, but they reject it. They reject the letter. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Think about this, right? The McDonald's girl, they gave her bail. Man, they only gave her bail, YouTuber, because she never had no money. Yeah, they rejected it. That's crazy. Rejected everything. I was like, wow, y'all guys rejected that. Hold on, let me turn my music off. Sorry. Let me turn my music off. They rejected it. I'm like, damn. Y'all get, Hold on, let me turn my music off. My bad. And the next thing I want to talk about, so I forgot to put in the title. Y'all, is the dude that he try to, analyze himself. A lot of stuff. As I said, so much stuff going on at once. But y'all seen the dude, he tried to analyze himself when, for the Trump thing. For, the sniper dude. But yeah, there's a lot that I have to talk about. And it's, man, a lot is going on. A lot. A lot is going on, y'all. But yeah, I feel it. Yeah, the judge. I told people from a long time ago, right? YouTuber. People think, oh, and I was telling Hazy this too, like, yo, not because this guy's an Indian, he's gonna make it hard because he's there. You know what I mean? To make it hard than Diddy, he's gonna make it hard. People thought because he was a brown judge. No, that's a whole catch. Put the brown judge there to make him feel like he's safe. Not safe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Come on now. Them people don't listen to hip hop music. A white person would have been there with a help out Diddy than an Indian person. I'm telling you. Okay, he don't listen to that other stuff. They don't listen to what we the stuff that we listen to. You see what I'm saying? That's a fact. So, no, and I tell anybody, I challenge anybody. I say, yo, Diddy would have had a chance with a white judge and this Indian dude because he just like, come on, yo. The adults are there. You should have gave him bail. But everybody just, I guess, out for blood, out for, he's playing an agenda. At this point, we know this judge is an agenda judge, and he's playing it real tight. He's playing it real good. Real good, yeah. So today was Diddy's hearing. And real good. Hold on, my bad. Today was Diddy's hearing. Let me monetize this real quick. Today was Diddy's hearing, and it was, it's crazy because they said he had new charges. He's gonna start a trial with the Mann Act. I think the Mann Act, the Mann Rico Act, or whatever. I don't know. Somebody has said something to me about this a while ago, about that, Mann Act and everything with him. Somebody has sent something to me about that, YouTuber about that, a while back about him and that. So it's just, to me, it's just like, wow. Wow. But yes, hey, something, I want to see how this is going to go. I'm not you know, thing of it, but I'll see how it's gonna go and how it's gonna work out at this point with Diddy because it just feels like it's a next one after a next. They just keep going after him, like after and after him. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, man, not looking good. Not looking good. They say, they look like they're trying to give him a new trial. Y'all think it's fair for him to get a new trial, though? What do y'all think? Y'all think it's fair for him to get a new trial? I know they was gonna do something. I know they was gonna try to build up a new case with a new trial. I knew there was. I knew it. I'm telling you, I knew it. I knew they was gonna do all that. They needed something new because they were looking like, they look like as what people are calling out. People are calling them out right now. If Diddy. Oh, I didn't see. I seen it, but I didn't watch it. It was in my feed, food stamp, but I didn't see it. If Diddy gets a new trial, he will. No, if he gets a new trial, I gotta remember they're charging him with a sex man act. YouTuber, they're charging him with a sex man act, which is a lot comes with that because I had somebody came on here and tell me about that long time ago. About that's what they was gonna use against him, and I thought they was lying, but I didn't. I'm gonna watch the 6ix9ine interview. I'm not really food stamp a fan of him, but I will watch it. You know what I mean to see what he said. Uh, yeah, I don't really watch anybody like that like I used to, but yes, um, the I did not get to see the 6ix9ine interview. I have to check that out. I got to check that out. I have to, because somebody, it seemed like it was good because a lot of people was on it, but to get yourself in that you know then people are gonna look at you weird. But I don't know what's going on. As I said, they all in the if y'all giving Gunna a chance, y'all you got to give 6ix9ine a chance too. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch none of them. But Diddy is they want to charge him with the the man act. Because somebody was saying something about that's what they was gonna hit him with, and um, yeah, I guess that's what they're trying to hit him with is the sex man act, and the new trial. As I said, the new trial could be more new charges, serious things. It ain't gonna be like it was before. Like they gonna be on point this time. I think this time around they might make some charges stick, y'all. I think they might make some charges stick this time. I'm not lying to y'all. They might make some of these Diddy's charges stick. You know, uh, but we'll see. We will see because everybody just wants, you know, well, they not everybody. They want him to get locked up. I guess so. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. And that is I wanted to show something earlier. Why I wanted to play the reason why um Steve Harvey was mad before I came back. He's really mad at what because I went back and listened to what Katt was saying about Steve Harvey. I was like, wow, he really in his feelings over that. He really in his feelings over that. And And I went back and hear the shit that he was saying. I was like, man, yo, I didn't know that all that shit that Katt said about Steve Harvey. Really, he really like after a year, really went and really like study like like what he gonna say about what do you call it about about Cat Williams and the Shannon Sharpe show. Like he was really, really, really hurt. Did not know he was that hurt. You know, because whenever you see him swear, whenever you see him swear, he's man, he's really mad. He's really mad. He's really, really mad. So for him to drop that like that, he's really, really, really mad. Really, really mad. You must be a new person, Sia. So tough without a gun. What do you mean? What do you mean Sean ain't tough without a gun? What do you mean? No, Diddy, like as I said, I ain't, Diddy is, but what, someone said Diddy ain't so tough without a, what's that supposed to mean? It's not like he pulled a gun on nobody, and like, it's not like we heard that he put a gun in someone's mouth to threaten them to do stuff they didn't want. Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the trial here, people. Remember, the most disgusting thing in this trial is that a female could sit there and drink some piss. You see what I'm saying? And Diddy ain't no need no gun to do that. So whoever, I don't think he was ever tough. I don't think Diddy was ever tough with or without the gun. I don't think Diddy's a tough guy. I just think he's a freak. That's all. Like, I mean, a freak. And he has a lot of sex. And I mean, a lot of you guys ain't used to these 80s and 90s babies and 70s where they have a lot of sex. You know what I mean? They're very freaky. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's all the person buys. You just don't. But yeah, Diddy ain't, no one. I don't think Diddy ever had a gun or nobody doing nothing to nobody, y'all. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. But they removed this message of him. But they did that. Somebody was trying to say something to you. Yeah, but man, they don't like that you said. What the fuck? Why would you put yo? This person put I don't know, but I'll let Diddy oil me up. Yo, what's going on? Yo, no baby oil jokes, yo. No baby oil. No baby oil jokes, please. Because if you can see, if you run baby oil jokes in the chat, they gonna remove that. So the baby oil jokes, not really funny. Yeah, I mean, they don't really want you to drop no grease, no baby grease or baby oil, I'm in the chat. None of that stuff. But yeah, and that's crazy. That's pretty much everything that everybody's got on Diddy is baby oil joke, all this other stuff. They haven't really got no. I dropped the link. Drop the link, and as I said, I'm gonna jump over to chat stuff. Y'all could tell me why it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair for them to set a new trial out. They're thinking about it. That's just some sucker shit. That's just some sucker shit, if you ask me. sucker-ish. Well, let me think this. Sucker-ish. I don't think, it should be a new trial. I think they should let this shit go. Because, yeah, can't really stop. And anybody from doing what they want to do. You know what I mean? The Freako, not a Rico. What else? Yeah, let's get this going. Got girls that trying to say free this man, young Miami. His mom. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. It'd be like that, man. It'd be like that. Yeah, Diddy a Freako, not a Rico. And I don't think Diddy ever used no gun or any none of that. And then none of that. But he just yeah. If they do get this trial though going, when he gets a new trial and everything and all of that stuff, it's just gonna be like it's gonna be crazy because they might lock him up for a while if they get this new trial. They get this new trial, they might lock up dude for a minute. If they do get him, they might lock him up. Real talk. They get him, they're gonna lock him up for a minute. They're gonna lock him up for a minute. I tell you this: if they get him back on this new trial, Rico or whatever, even though people are saying it's not a Rico because we learned that not everything is a Rico, which is true. Not everything that they put out there is a Rico. Not everything that they put out there and put in front of us and say this is a Rico, and this person's gonna go to jail, and this is gonna happen. It's not true because the Fed said it. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be true. But y'all got some of the baby oil jokes already going. Y'all crazy. I mean, y'all crazy. YouTube got rid of y'all quick. That ain't funny. That ain't funny. I can YouTube y'all. That's funny. That ain't funny. Y'all trying to use that joke. Then you gonna make sure there's no baby oil. You gonna make sure there's no baby oil joke. None of that. None of that. Like I said, I don't think Diddy, had nothing with no gun holding to nobody and making nobody, That's how them because all them billionaire people, they got guns. Everybody in America got a gun. They're not even rich. Got a whole bunch of guns. Even in Canada, they got guns. They had to take a whole bunch of guns from the military dude that he was working illegal exercise and selling guns in the dark web, and he's a part of the military. So let me show you. Everybody, their mama, is out here doing something with some gun. That's the crazy part. Gun is like everybody's best friend. Everybody out here doing some crazy shit with the weapons. But yeah, Diddy though, that's it. The hearing started. His hearing started. The whole I was kind of like, to me, that was kind of like weird. You know, they want to drop, you know, you drop new charges on him right before about to give him a sentence and all that shit. See if you guys can hold more weight. You can't hold no weight. You can't hold no weight. Yeah, people. So, yeah, I can't really, you see what I'm saying? Can't really trust the feds. The feds basically, you know, they messing up. Let's get off Diddy for a bit. Let's get on I want to get back to this Steve Harvey because he hurt on Katt Williams. So let me I'm talking about that and the whole Steve Harvey and Katt situation, right? So hold on, Steve Harvey was on a show and he was just going off about Katt, you know, and how basically, you know, they not only Katt, but they use the show to talk about their friends. Because if y'all seen the show, what happened is Katt, not Katt, what's the name? Invited thing to the show. Invited Steve Harvey, did an interview with him, and then invited Katt to the show. So Steve Harvey was not happy with that. He was not happy with that. Steve Harvey was not happy with that because, you know, he's like, damn, you don't invite me to the show, and now you got this dude talking about me, and you know, what type of friend is you? Like, you know, like the disrespect. But I don't know if I ever know. I know Steve Harvey does a lot of stuff where he invite. But let me just play the part first with Katt. You know why he was mad at Katt, because I've been meaning to play that. You know, when Katt was talking about them and how, you know, Steve Harvey and them wanted the role, but they got the role and they can't act and they're not funny. Which I don't think that is funny. I don't think that is funny for real. I don't think that is funny. I don't think that is funny. So, you know, I don't think, you know, so this way he talks about Steve Harvey. Right, let me mute this real quick. And then we're going to hear about him. Why Steve Harvey is mad at, and it's a year later, because this was a year ago, you know, a year ago.
Went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60.
So this is the interview. Which is Steve is right. I don't know why he was mad at Steve for saying all this, because I think Steve Harvey only had one role, and that was to play Mr. Potato Head. Like, it's funny how Katt Williams said that, but I think it's true. It's true. I don't think, you know, that's just me. Like, I could be wrong, but yeah, I think he just had that one rule just to play Dude, I don't think, he was like, he's not a movie guy. Like, he couldn't play, like, as I said, he wasn't even in a, like, some people are in a movie, they're in a comedy and they play, the principal, the teacher, and, and they come in real life and they play somewhere in a movie somewhere, like, you know what I mean? That never happened with Steve Harvey. He never got that role to play the principal like what he did in the TV show. Real talk. Even though he tried to be it is too much.
Movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore. The way I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip. Less than you. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey was never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history.
Listen. This is crazy. Now he's still mad about that. But he said, like, but he said it, and he just said it, like, I tell him, like, say anything you want about me. Don't talk about my wife. She's the reason why I'm here. She's the reason why I got where am I. That's why he's like, yo, you said that about all your wives. Like, they're the reason why you got where you are. Like, as I said, this is the first time I ever heard Steve Harvey, sit down and, say, his wife make him. I never, heard him in the past saying, this woman was the reason why I got where I'm at. Unless I wasn't paying attention like that. But yeah, that is crazy. Hazy, what's going on, family? Peace, God. Peace. Peace, Hazy. What's the signs? The signs, family. Is he about to roll this up? And the game started, didn't it? The game started. The game did start. I don't watch these dumb teams out here. I'm waiting for yeah. But this is wild. Shout out to you, Hazy. Much love, respect, brother. Yeah. But it's crazy. This is crazy, yo. He is. What you said here, I don't think he was wrong for saying that. I don't think he was wrong. Went over himself a little bit, but I don't think he was wrong for saying none of that. But it's kind of right though. You invite the man to my show, you invite me to the show, and you have him talk about me after the fact. You just have me there. So I'm just trying to figure out if he was one of the person that helped get rid of the show. Just saying. Yeah, let's hear more Katt. I'm not gonna play the whole Katt because I'm pretty sure all of us heard this already.
Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made all lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams.
He did say that. He did say that he stopped doing stand up because he had he did say that. He did say that. We heard. We heard him. He did say that. Oh, no, wrong person. Wrong one. He did say that. He did say that. He did say that now. My bad. Wrong one. Wrong thumbnail. But he did say that. He did say that. He said that he had seven shows. That's why he quit 70. You know what I mean? That's why he quit stand up. That's what he said. On his new interview.
In Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been
Damn, so he did try to... damn, yo. So Steve was mad they chose Bernie over him. I don't know, Bernie died. And Steve still ain't getting no movies. Bernie Mac died and Steve still ain't getting no movie roles. And that's some shit. Ain't that some ish? He still ain't get the role. Still ain't get the role. Ain't that some shit? So yeah, that's what he mad about. But he said, which is all lies, the reason why he quit stand up because he had 7 TV shows. What TV? Why was it 7 TV shows? Family Feud? What? Or 7 episodes? Like what? What was he doing? How was it like? I want to know. But yeah, that's what he said. But yeah, man, they should really cut this out. They look like they're fighting over, who's funniest and who wasn't funny. And Steve Harvey, I didn't know Steve Harvey was still in his feelings about all that. But yeah, it looks like he's still in his feelings. Bad. He's in his feelings. I didn't know he was in his feelings so much, but that nigga in his feelings.
True.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that.
Real shit. That's why a lot of these guys don't have young fan bases. Because they play, they start even real talk. Steve Harvey. He don't have a young fan base. Ricky Smiley don't have a young fan base. They don't have it. That's the crazy part. You think that, they will have a fan base like that. So tell me, if you have a fan base like that, why you not funny? Why is you not funny? Why is you not funny though? Why? So I don't know. That is, to me, that is crazy. But I do believe that what do you call it? And nobody never want to hear what's his name for real. And he mad that he ain't never got the movie role. That's why he did the teacher, the principal. I thought he was the teacher, but he's a principal in that TV show because he couldn't get that one role. Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. I see. It make a lot of sense. I was wondering why he kept doing that role over and over again. And was he trying to get the uh what run role I seen that? Hold on, hold on, people, hold on. There we go. There you go. I was trying to see, was he trying to get the thing role, the HNIC role when that dude played the principal? I don't know, but man, the nigga right there, just made a fool out of himself. A year. There's no way no one's gonna look at you serious. A year later, they're gonna be like, "What's wrong with this dude?" Because he tried to do this. He tried to make. Cause Steve Harvey, right? Telling people to kiss his ass because they don't believe his story. That's why he tried to do the whole, at this time because he didn't want his story because some of the shit he was talking is bullshit. A lot of people know that, and they was calling it out, especially about the having the, a whole bunch of different TV shows and all the other shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's nonsense. It don't add up. What else I gonna say again? I don't think he was as funny as Katt. No, Katt is way funnier than Steve Harvey. But damn, he just came out and took a shot at Steve like that. That was kind of like, huh? But Steve Harvey though, he shouldn't be acting like a softie. Acting like a softie, sir. Stop acting like a softie. Stop it. Because you said a lot of crazy stuff in your career. A lot of crazy stuff in your career. And I'm pretty sure people could, say, yeah, he said a lot of crazy stuff. But and nobody got mad at you and called you, you're just in your feelings. He he was big man. He's like, oh, that's some bitch shit. And that going off. And, but let's get back to him. I'm gonna bring back to him.
I said no. YouTube algorithm is.
I'm gonna get back to what he was chatting about because he said some crazy stuff. I was like, damn. And you could tell he was hurt. He was hurt. Some people, if you have a story, you don't bring it up right away, and you bring it up a year later, you was in your feelings about something. You were strongly in your feelings, and you really hurt. So that's why this story is, yeah. And people really getting up because you're a sucker.
A boy came over to the house, and I met him, and I found him. You clickbait. If they can take, I'd have found you. Why don't you and Katt just sit down and talk? You have the resources. He has the resource. I know y'all know enough people. That shit blew up. Like, why can't y'all just talk? Because that's how We do it. We've done it. You even bring up us. We have arguments. Yeah. And, bruh, shit hit me. Let's talk.
That's easy to do, you know, but I don't like, look, man, if you don't have a desire to talk to me, I don't have time to run you down. Yeah. But I wasn't the accuser. I didn't see, you got to be careful of people who become victims of circumstances that they create. You on here talking about me. I didn't talk about you. If you want to sit down, I'll sit down. Man, I'll sit down with anybody. I promise you I will, man. I'm that big a man now. You know, now 30 years ago, I'd have found you with purpose. Yeah. Okay, but not no more, man.
Is it low-hanging fruit because of everything that you...
back a little.
Somebody's expense. Well, now guess what? You got to pay for that. I'm controlled by FCC rules. The problem is, these people go get these podcasts who have no FCC rules to abide by. Mm-hmm. But you have to remember, even though you're on a podcast, you still...
Remember, he said the FCC rules that he had to go by. Like, basically, you know, he don't get to do anything. That's like I was talking about. He don't get to do anything freely like everybody else. So he can't say anything he wants. I'm pretty sure if he would have said anything without the FCC rules, you know what I mean, he would have said something. I mean, but because he's controlled and, you know, he's always get told what to say, he really can't say what he says. So he's mad at Shannon and Katt because they could just come up and say what they want to say. On to the next block.
People got a brand. Yeah. And so you can't say what you want to say and expect to be relevant and not get canceled. You can't have a podcast and the way that you think you can make money is on clicks and views at the expense of others and not expect to have to pay the expense. Mm-hmm. You can't have a podcast and light me up and don't expect to get lit up. You can't have a podcast, let somebody come on your show and talk about your friends. I agree. Okay, you got a podcast. Y'all.
Yeah, but what I gotta say though, I'm pretty sure a lot of stuff, he said a lot of stuff about people, you know, and to other people on the show, you know what I mean, that don't like his friends or not friends with his friends. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he said some stuff with some people that, you know, that some people wasn't really too happy with. So he got to look at it like that. But I get what he's saying, though. Like, you know, that's your homie. But it's like, it's crazy because I see it too. In even the interview before when I was playing with Katt and Club Shay Shay, just like Shannon Sharpe, it's just like, you know, he's telling Katt he drink too much. Like, basically, like, you don't got to so hard, but, you know, you got to know when to slow it down, especially that, you know, your homie going to call you and press you because he seemed like the way he's talking, he's not friends with Shannon Sharpe no more. You know what I mean? You could tell he pressed Shannon. And if he's friends with Shannon Sharpe, he's probably like, you know, to a certain point where, you know, it's limited. It's not like so like, hey, you know, come to my house, let's have Christmas dinner, let's, you know, let's take the kids out. None of that. Like, you know, it's no. That's it. You know, you did that. You know, you could do me like that. You know, some people, that's how they think. You know, that's how they think. It's just yes. So, man, madness is going on. Crazy. Can't lie. But that's what it does. But I'm just thinking like, damn, once again, I was saying they made so much money off of football and all them Super Bowl rings that you got going crazy like that. Like it's turning all-out war. You know, because this interview seemed like it's still an all-out war. Niggas still in their feelings over it. You know, this interview turned a lot of people started beefing in the industry over this interview.
I got a guest on here, and he starts slamming Fred. He knows something about Fred happened in the past, with lie or not, and just starts slamming Fred. Y'all got to shut that down. Yeah. Because this your brother. You got to protect him, and you got to protect the brand. They don't do that no more. So you come on my show, you spread all.
Yeah, real talk, because Shannon was like allowing, like, you know, he's like, I don't know, you know, but man, that interview there, as I said, still have a lot of people hurt in their feelings. Shit crazy. Mad crazy. Mad crazy.
All these lies about some people that I call my so-called friends. And I just let you sit there and check it. And because your podcast had so many views on that right there, your next guest is the same type of guest. Because now you want your money to be made off clicks and views at somebody's expense. Well, now guess what? You got to pay for that. Because once you put it out in the universe that I want clicks and views, the universe does not differentiate. It just gives you clicks and views. So now here they come the rest of them. And now you got clicks and views.
My question to that, though, is there was the podcast, and there was a comedian who talked about you. And you waited a while before ever responding to Katt Williams. Mm-hmm. But when you responded, it felt like there was a lot more vitriol to your response than it was all of the initial accusations. Why do you think the response to what you said was so different from what he said on Shannon's show?
When you say vitriol, what you mean?
The social media fodder was upset with you for the way you finally responded to him. Mm-hmm. You mentioned his height and what you could do if there was ever an altercation. They said they felt like what he said about you was true because of the nature of your reaction.
Oh, well, see, first of all, I ain't really good at social media, so I didn't even know that was out there. But they can, like, really kiss most of the corners of my ass when you say stuff like that. First of all, man, let me say this. And I probably, see, first of all, when I said that, I was on stage at...
yeah, it's true, though. You took a while back. You know, it's almost like he was hurt about what Katt said about, you know, couldn't be a movie star. I don't think we ever, like, I can't remember one, you know, movie with him. You know, with Steve Harvey. I've seen stuff that I've never seen with him before. And I've seen, like, you know, it's always just old TV show or stand up or family, like, feud, like, so I don't know what he talking about. Really don't know, you know, what he talking about. But he had the 7 shows, 7 TV shows, maybe 7 episodes that he had to go do at the time. But he ain't never been in no movie like that. He been in TV shows. Man, I don't think they ever looked at him as a movie guy. But not saying he can't be in a movie. I don't think that he is, you know, he's the movie type of dude. Like, he'll, you know, probably have to be somebody like a comedy action thriller movie, or, you know, just a straight comedy movie. But then you got other people that like to test their roles or see if they could play like a, you know, a villain or they could play. I don't think he will ever look at if he had a movie and they're like, you're gonna play the villain. Like, no, just like Tyler Perry. No, him playing a villain. No, that's not marketable. That's not gonna sell. No, even though his name is Tyler Perry. No, so I don't think Steve Harvey. No offense to him, like he ain't never come in a movie um, as Katt Williams and did the whole like no, like Katt movies are funny, funny. You know, can Steve Harvey be in a movie that's funny? Has be a good actor and make us laugh and want more? We haven't seen him in a movie, so we don't know. We've seen him in TV shows, boring TV shows, boring, boring stuff. Stuff that just make you just sit down and just relax. But Cat Williams, you're always moving around laughing when you're sitting down. There's a big difference. They're not in the same, they're funny. Like, he is not lying. They're not funny. They made it look like it was funny because that was the time back then what they was doing. What was funny? But the stuff now that are not funny no more, you see that. Ain't nobody really funny because that's all they were doing. To be funny. So they're not really funny. They're not as funny as how, you know, people say they is. They're funny people. Hell yeah, it's mad he got exposed. But yeah, Steve Harvey though, he's 68. Leave that shit alone. I mean, don't be like you took a year to respond. Shit, you should have left it. Should have just left it. Leave it alone.
Earn your leisure. I was really just joking. I slap you, perm, all this. I was just in front of a whole lot of people. I was really just joking. I don't really. If I had a chance to talk to Katt about anything, I would just ask him what's wrong. Just what's wrong. Let's go to that. Listen to me, man. Just because a person sits on the show and don't hesitate or say or and speaks eloquently, that don't mean it's true. That just don't mean it's true, man. And I probably shouldn't have said anything. That's a regret I have. I really shouldn't have said nothing. Cause we not in the same league, dog. We shooting at two different baskets. I shouldn't even have said nothing. And so really, man, I think I would apologize to him.
Yeah, not even that though. Like the truth to be told, you're not as funny as him though. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think he's as funny as him. I'm sorry. You in the lead was just like, yeah, the stuff that you're doing was funny in the early '90s, but you know, um, 2000. I don't know if he was funny because I don't know, but people was watching the Cat. We was on the Cat Williams the Fridays after the next Friday. I'm not talking about the first Friday movie. I'm talking about the next Friday, Friday after next. You know what I mean? And Cat, You know, Mike Epps. Two funniest niggas that Ice Cube ever put in a movie is Mike Epps and Katt. Crazy. And Ricky Smiley was in the movie, but he couldn't even play the Santa Claus that day. He was playing the Santa Claus that was going down the chimney. He trying to break and everything. Like, he was even like, you know, like he was funny, but I don't know what that was. He was alright. No, he was alright. Not gonna lie, I can't say that. Right after next year, Ricky Smiley, he killed that Santa Claus role. He did. He did. That's the only role that he had me like laughing. Everything else was just like he kept doing the same thing over and over again. He kept finding himself doing the same thing over and over and over. So that was kind of weird. You gotta be an actor, actress. You gotta elevate. That's like some they play the bad. They start out playing with the easy one as a police officer. Then they move on to something else, and then they move on to the next role. I don't know, some you know, crazy. You got for your level gotta be on that level. Ricky Smiley wasn't, you know, on that. Mike Epps and Katt. I haven't seen Katt in any new movies, so I don't know if he's all right. He's all right. 'Cause he was funny in Friday. He was funny. I mean, man, he was funny. He was funny. He was, he was funny. Let's hear this guy complain.
If he took offense to what I said, I was joking, but I would apologize to him. And like I said, if I had a chance to sit down with him, I would just say, hey, man, what's wrong? But you got to look at the whole tone of the interview. If the whole tone of the interview is what everybody else ain't, what everybody else ain't got, what everybody else doing, I think that's kind of like hate and jealousy. And hate and jealousy is a form of grief. You're grieving because obviously all them people you talking about have something you either want or are something.
He could be right. No, he could be right because it took for a while for Katt to get back. You know what I mean? Where he's at right now. Came and did that interview, then he took off. But then, he was on the ship. I was just saying, like, you know, whatever he hooked up with, and whoever them people that, you know, he's doing good things. Can't lie. Doing good things. He was not that level. But he just, I don't think he's like, hating that he didn't have one. I think he just saying, yeah, y'all trying to, y'all left me and, didn't want to help me out. And, when y'all had them people, now I got my own people and I got my own this. I don't think it's that really mad, look, you got what I don't got thing. I think it's just that's what that is.
Something that you ain't. And you're grieving. And the funeral becomes the podcast.
Wish you had a professional business address.
The funeral becomes the podcast. Start burying people on the podcast. Yeah, I think that's what they do.
Roast all of these people.
I think that's what they do. They bring they bring them on the podcasts you know, because everybody watching, all the elites watching. You know, they put their business out there. Just, you know, crazy. Podcast becomes a funeral. Everybody get buried up in this bitch. Everybody. Steve Harvey's stupid. But he's still not funny to me.
And be honest with you, man, and I'm not talking about him particular, but if you go on a podcast to degrade and belittle another group of people, that's a little bitch move to me. That's just real bitchy to me. I don't, you know, if y'all ask me on the show, man, I don't want to talk negative about nobody. That's why I say, man, like, I would apologize to him, or I would say, ask the brother what's wrong, because I really want to know, you know. But I'm glad I don't really pay attention to social media much. Somebody told me last week that there's a rumor going around that somebody got on a plane and flew into town and slapped me.
Please tell me that don't happen.
And
Not with that security.
Yeah, and I was sitting up here and I said, okay, Mr. Harvey, did that ever happen? They get on a plane and fly and slap you? I said, well, okay, but where the rest of the story? Yeah. Just tell me where the rest of us at. What you meant?
Yeah, but yeah, Steve Harvey, man, he in his feelings. He in his feelings, bro. He mad at Katt. That means, in a way, Shannon Sharpe did set him up. Yeah, he did set him up. I think he set him up. Invite him there. And then right after that, you got Katt. So you know, and you knew. Not like you don't know, because you talk, to your producers, you talk, to the people on the show, what you're gonna say and what you can say. And those are the things he can say. The things he can't say, you're not gonna put that out there. They're not gonna put that out there. They're not gonna let him put that out there. They'll let everybody else. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, but this. Niggas still beefing over that podcast. Niggas still beefing over that podcast. Wow. This is going on with football. Niggas still beefing over the podcast. Steve Harvey, man, you should be better than better. You can't act and you can tell a joke, but he can't. He's not Katt. He said him and Katt Williams are on the same level. I don't know. They're definitely not on the same level yet, for real, bro. I don't think he's more funnier than, as I said, every Katt Williams got like a fan base, and it's always been with Steve Harvey, he's always got like that OG fan base, but he never adapt to that young fan base like level. Like Kevin Hart had a young fan base level at one point. I don't know if he still have that. Um, Mark Epps, so like I said, he could say all the stuff he want. And they both, as I said, they both had some, had Steve Harvey had his time, like he was about 68. So he just gotta chill out. Like, shit. You're almost 70, just man. The whole pay someone to do something to you, like, yeah, like you crazy. It's crazy. Talking like that. You know where he get off talking like that. You gotta relax. Mike Epps is the man right now. Everywhere he goes, everywhere he goes. Any podcast, any TV show he goes and does an interview, the ratings are good. The ratings are up. So they said people are doing the stuff for the clicks and likes and the views. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because he used to do a lot of stuff for the camera too, for the clicks and likes. He used to do a lot of stuff for it. So he can't be saying, "Oh, everyone doing it," like he doing it. You gonna say it and you gonna get canceled. But he only got canceled. So basically, he's saying the only reason why Shannon got canceled and got allegedly, his girlfriend to charge him because he was saying all that. So he got canceled because the way he's acting with his podcast. So they basically exposed to me that people are getting canceled for saying certain things, and if you allow it, you might get all the clicks and the likes, but you're gonna get canceled too. That's crazy. But damn, Steve Harvey, YouTube 68. Oh my nigga, you way too, to think for that. That's wild. Yeah, that's wild, wild. But yeah, what is this? This shit right here is. Let me get off of this. Let's see what this is. Yeah, it's been all right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace. I'm out.